Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. Allow me to share with you the life of Coco Chanel through the lens of Carl Jung's philosophy, so that you may gain understanding and discover your own path. Coco Chanel. Identity, Shadow, and the Making of the Self. Part I. Childhood and the Birth of the Shadow. Gabrielle Chanel was born in poverty in 1883. Her mother died when she was young. Her father abandoned her. She spent her formative years in an orphanage. In Jungian psychology, the shadow is born early, formed by what is rejected, silenced, or deemed unacceptable. For Chanel, abandonment was not just an event. It was a foundation. The orphanage imposed discipline, austerity, silence. Order replaced affection. Control replaced safety. These conditions shaped her inner world. Emotion was dangerous, dependence was weakness, vulnerability had to be hidden. The shadow does not disappear. It waits. And in Chanel's life, it would later reappear as severity, emotional distance, and an obsession with mastery. Part 2. The Persona, Creating Coco Chanel. Carl Jung described the persona as the social mask, the identity we construct to survive and function in the world. Gabrielle Chanel understood this instinctively. She renamed herself. She erased her past. She curated her appearance, her speech, her posture. Coco Chanel was not a nickname, it was a psychological invention. In a male-dominated world, she adopted restraint, authority, and simplicity. Black, sharp lines, absence of ornament. The persona was elegant, composed, invulnerable. But Jung warned that when the persona becomes too rigid, it risks suffocating the authentic self beneath it. Chanel's strength was real. But it was also armor. Part 3. Rejection of the old feminine. At the beginning of the 20th century, femininity was defined by constraint, corsets, decoration, passivity. Chanel rejected this entirely. She dressed women in movement, sobriety, and freedom. She borrowed from masculine codes straight lines, comfort, authority. From a Jungian perspective, this reflects the integration of the animus, the masculine principle, within the female psyche. But integration is different from domination. Chanel did not soften the masculine. She imposed it. Her vision liberated women externally, but internally, it reflected her own refusal of softness, dependency, and surrender. Freedom was achieved, but at a cost. Part 4. Power, Control, and the Shadow. As Chanel's power grew, so did her rigidity. She was known to be demanding, distant, sometimes cruel. Relationships were controlled. Emotions were minimized. Jung believed that what we refuse to integrate consciously returns in distorted forms. Chanel's shadow, abandonment, fear of loss, emotional vulnerability, was never fully confronted. Instead, it hardened into control. Power became protection. Success became insulation. The persona triumphed. But the inner conflict remained unresolved. Part B. Love and projection. Chanel's romantic relationships were intense and fragile. She sought security through men of power and status, yet never allowed true dependency. In Jungian terms, this reflects projection, placing unresolved inner needs onto another person. Her lovers carried what she could not integrate within herself: protection, stability, recognition. When they failed or disappeared, the wound reopened. The loss of the great love of her life marked her deeply. After that, intimacy became increasingly distant. The persona remained. The individual retreated. Part 6. From individual to archetype. At a certain point, Chanel ceased to be fully human in the public imagination. She became an archetype. The strong woman. The creator. The symbol of modernity. Jung wrote that archetypes are powerful, but dangerous. They consume the individual who embodies them. The myth eclipses the person. Chanel lived long enough to see herself transformed into something larger than herself, a figure frozen in authority, elegance, and distance. The cost of symbolic immortality is often loneliness. Conclusion. Individuation and the unfinished self. Carl Jung believed that the goal of life is individuation, the integration of all parts of the psyche, persona, shadow, masculine, feminine, strength, vulnerability. Chanel completed part of this journey. She mastered identity, form, and will. But individuation requires reconciliation, not domination. Her life reminds us that creating a powerful mask can save us, but it can also imprison us. Coco Chanel did not simply change fashion. She revealed a psychological truth. That freedom without inner integration becomes rigidity. That strength without softness becomes isolation. And that the most difficult creation is not a style, but the self. Thank you for watching. See you soon for a next video. See you soon for another inspiring story.